Okay, Carla, this is Joe. Joe, this is Carla.
Hello, nice
This is
to
your
meet you.
fabulous home inspector. So we're going to just walk through briefly. He's going to talk about the things that are of utmost importance. The inspection is going to be extremely detailed and thorough with everything listed out, but we're going to talk about kind of the high level things that you need to address to begin with. Okay,
Okay.
take it away.
So I'm standing at the furnace for a reason. I really think you're going to have to replace this furnace. You can see that it's got heavy rust all over it. And then inside the heat exchanger, which is in here, heavy rust. Now it did fire up when I kicked it on. I only kicked it on for a second, turned it off because I just felt like it wasn't safe. It was already making a kind of smell where I could kind of suspect maybe, I don't know for sure, there could be a carbon monoxide leak in it. So I just think it's unsafe. So if it was me, I would replace this whole unit. So that said, right here behind Elizabeth on the ceiling, that there's several water stains down here, and they're all wet. You can see mold in that one. See the black mold or the black fungal growth. I have to be careful what I say about mold, but I'm not a mold inspector. But definitely want to get that looked at, and then that leak checked. And then if you walk in here, while we're on the subject of leaks, you walk in here into the garage. All this is wet. All this is wet. All where you see black, all that's wet. So that's definitely going to have to be looked at and fixed. I think you're going to have to drop the ceiling down just to see, make sure there's not a whole lot of damage up there.
Okay, so it sounds like probably this is plumbing related, maybe due to the
Could be the boiler or the plumbing in the house. Because the boiler, when you have a boiler, you have all these pipes of water in them going through the house. And sometimes they'll start failing, and that's what will happen. I have a suspicion. We'll look when we get upstairs, because I don't think, we'll have to see what we're under here. But I would lean more towards boiler. But we'll look when we get upstairs.
Okay.
So also, talking about moisture, all these walls are wet. Now, I think the house was built really well. Structurally, I didn't see any major problems structurally. All these walls were plumb. None of them, you've got a few hairline cracks here or there, but which I always recommend just sealing and keeping an eye on. But the foundation walls are in pretty good shape. Just need to get this moisture off the walls because that can affect the walls. That can start to move the foundation walls, and you can have structural problems. Not to mention mold and whatever else comes into a home when you have moisture coming through the walls. So definitely want to get that fixed as well. And while we're on that subject, we'll go into this garage where you can see there's more water coming in. Also, yeah, I was having a hard time finding lights that work down here. This wall too has moisture intrusion. And you can see I think that's where we'll look at that on the outside, but I think that's where the level goes up, and there's the rock wall right there. We'll look at that when we go outside. But that's also wet. Now here's another big issue that's going to have to be dealt with. This is the reason this thing's running, this dehumidifier, is because this whole wall is wet, all underneath these windows.
Huh.
Like this is all wet.
What is that wet from?
See this up here at the ceiling? I think it's the deck. I think where the deck meets the house, they didn't flash it correctly, so now water's coming in behind the sheetrock and one down.
Wow.
And I think it's coming into some of these windows. So this whole, I would open all this up and then fix the deck, whatever you have to do. That's going to be a pretty big issue, to fix.
Okay.
That might be one of your bigger issues on the furnace, so.
Okay.
So I think that was it for the moisture coming in. And there'll be little things like the garage door missing the weather stripping. That stuff will be in there. In this room, there's a big spider that I showed you, Elizabeth, that I saw.
Ooh, that is big.
Did you get my picture?
I did, but it's hard to see to scale.
Yeah, he's huge.
That's humongous. That's huge. Okay, sorry, I got distracted.
On the subject of insects, there's carpenter. Well, we'll talk about this when we get outside, but carpenter bees are just
Everywhere.
having a field day with this place. When I went on the roof, they were all flying around me.
How was
so they
that?
Were also
Did they dive bomb you?
Yeah, it felt like I think they really didn't care I was there. They were just going all over the place. But definitely want to do something about that because there's a lot of damage that they've caused on the roof as well, on those wood, because you have wood shakes.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that when we go outside. And then there's just mice are all through this place too, and the pest guy said something about that. So you definitely want to get that fixed as well. These ceilings were dry. You can see that there's some repair signs here. I don't know if that was when they put the new light fixtures in or what, but just so you know, I tested those areas and they were dry.
Okay. How was this wall here?
It was
this
dry.
Okay.
Well, and the deck doesn't go that far, so
Okay. So,
that
so
was
it
good.
does seem like that is a decking issue. Okay.
Yep, that is definitely. I'm pretty sure that's a decking issue. Okay. Water heater looks good. It's a 2014. It's a 50-gallon, which will be enough for this place. This, you hear me say this a lot, Elizabeth. This CSST piping. When I see this in a house, we have to bond the electrical panel or give it a ground or a bond because this stuff has been known to catch on fire if the house gets struck by lightning. So that'll be in the report. And the only other thing I didn't see on it was an expansion tank, which should have been a code in 2014. I don't know how they got away with that, but expansion tank just keeps this from leaking, this T&P valve. So definitely want to get that put on if you can. You can put that on the back of the list. Jameson came. The water pressure is great here. He said that well tank definitely, or that pressure tank definitely needs to be replaced, and the pressure switch. This is called the pressure switch. So you're going to see that in Jameson's report that both of those need to be changed out.
Okay.
Also, while we're on the subject of that, the septic guy came. I'm going to show you where the tank is. It's right over here, but he wasn't able to dig it up because it's 5 feet deep.
Oh no.
Yeah, so when it's that deep, they have to get a backhoe in. So I told them to get you guys a quote on what it's going to cost to dig it up, and then he's recommending put risers in so you don't have to dig it up every time you pump it. And so they're going to give you a quote on all that, digging it, putting the risers in, and pumping it and all that.
Okay.
So I think the fee for him coming out and locating it and all that, it took him a while to find it. He had to actually flush one of those sensors, but it's going to be like $180 for their time here today. But I think that they'll work with you on deducting some of that if you have them come back out and do the rest of the work later. So anyway, just to let you know. This is a radon pipe. I don't know if you saw that before. It's got a radon mitigation system, and it's working fine. And actually, the guy who's doing the test for us is the one who put this pipe in.
Oh, good.
So we'll find out if it's still working when we get the results on that.
Okay.
Okay? I think that was it for the bigger stuff down here. Like I said, there'll be little things. One thing in here, Elizabeth, one of the little things. You'll probably, I don't know what you're going to do with this sink, but this thing leaks when you run it. It just leaks when you use it. Not a big deal. It's just plastic.
Okay.
But other than that, everything was fine with this. Here's your electrical panels. Both of those look good. This is a 200 amp panel, and then you've got I think this is maybe a 100 amp sub panel. But anyway, they both look fine. I didn't see any problems with the electrical panels. I took the covers off and everything, so no problems
And
there.
what's all that behind you?
This is like low voltage cable stuff. It's, we don't normally inspect this stuff. But it could be for cable or satellite or who knows what else. And this is kind of, let's see, this is probably a timer for something. It's hard to say.
Okay.
And it's just a lot of little low voltage wiring.
Well, back in the day when
That
this
could
house
be
was
for-
think it was probably an amazing whatever that is.
Yep.
Who knows what
That
it
could
does
be
now.
falling there, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think any of it's in use right now.
Yeah.
I think that looks like it's a clothesline. Any questions while we're down here, Elizabeth?
I think not. I think we're good.
All right, we'll turn these lights off and then we'll go upstairs unless you.
So here's a quick question about the boiler. So how do you test to see if the boiler, you turn the furnace on, and that's basically the best that you can do. We don't know if the actual
normally
baseboard hot water heat is actually working, correct?
Normally I would check each one to see if they're working, but I didn't feel comfortable leaving that on.
Okay.
And because it takes a while to get these heated up, the boiler has to run the water through it, it cycles through, and it can take up to an hour. I didn't like what I was seeing. Honestly, I almost didn't turn it on. I just did out of curiosity to see if it even worked just after what I saw when I came up to it.
Yeah.
Even though it does work, I would still,
So it sounds like the furnace obviously is going to need to be replaced. So that's a no-brainer. But when they replace the furnace, the boiler's also the baseboard hot water heater, whatever that stuff is called, is also old. So are they going to have? Would they likely need to update that too?
Well, not necessarily. As long as there's no leaks or anything, which we already know that there could be
might
leaks.
be, yeah.
But that just might. They're just like they're plumbing pipes, and they're all copper. Copper can last a long time. If you just fix the leaks, these will be fine. If you still want to go back with a boiler.
Yeah.
Now, you have ductwork upstairs. You can always switch to a gas furnace and put it in the attic. That might be the best route. That just wouldn't let you heat down here, but that would take care of upstairs because you've already got ductwork up there.
Okay. And then down here you could put a mini split or something like that, depending on the configuration of.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, and that might be what I would lean more towards. And you've got propane here. Why not just do a gas furnace?
Okay.
You could do a big gas furnace and that would take care of the whole upstairs.
Okay. Cool.
Because these boilers, you got to stay on them and you've got to keep them serviced. There's just so many parts that you have to worry about.
Okay.
And so they can be expensive in the long run.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
We're following you.
Let me turn this light off. Okay. So both fireplaces look pretty good. This one has some loose mortar in it, and that one has a few cracked bricks, so I'm just going to recommend getting those fixed. These little things here, Elizabeth, these vents, these are they allow air from the outside to come in, and it probably helps to get the fire going. But the doors on them are rusted shut.
Okay.
So some of them worked, some of them didn't, so I'll have to get that fixed.
So would you recommend having a chimney person come out and inspect these, or do you feel like basically the integrity is good, it's just some repair work that needs to be
They're
done?
pretty good. I would still want to see somebody come and do the repairs. But
Okay.
they're, I mean, as old as they are, they're still in really good shape. I don't
Okay.
think they were used that much.
Awesome.
And the chimneys both look clean.
Oh, good.
Now I can't see them from top to bottom, but I could see up, and then I could look down from the
down.
roof.
Okay.
And they look pretty good, so I'll
Okay.
put that in the report too. But yeah, I think they've taken pretty good care of the fireplaces. Either that or they just didn't use them very much.
Okay.
So on the subject of heating and air,
Mm-hmm.
both the air conditioners are working good. There's a one air conditioner is for this side of the house, and then there's one for that side of the house.
Okay.
I think there's a bigger one for that side of the house. You can see on the outside there's two condensers, one's big, one's small. Both of them are working fine. Of course, they're old. They're 1988 models. So if you're going to keep them, I'm going to recommend just servicing them and go ahead and get it serviced now. When I took this cover off, there were dead mice in there.
Yuck!
So air is going over the dead mice, and so yeah, so it's not healthy. So this one, I've got pictures of it. I'll definitely put that in a report. Get these serviced, get the dead mice. I mean, if it's in the budget, you might as well. I would just replace these things. I mean, they're working, but they're just so old and they're inefficient, and the ductwork's old. You know, I'd recommend cleaning the ductwork now that we know there's dead mice in the main air handler there. So, in the there's a few things in the bathrooms. In this bathroom, all the tile was loose and broken, or not broken, but loose and grouts missing. The shower didn't work, and what I mean by that is, can you turn it on? Whoop. Nope, it's not gonna work. I pushed this in, and I couldn't get this to, I think this diverter's broken. Let me
Okay.
try it again. Yeah, see, when I push that in, the shower should come on. So, that needs to be fixed. This toilet's leaking. You can see there's wet stains all around it. You see all those wet stains? So I would pick it up and reset it and fix whatever damage is under there. And then there's also a lot of sediment in the water. I saw a lot of sediment, so I think you need a filter. I didn't see a filter downstairs, so I'm sure Jameson's going to recommend that to the well inspector.
Okay.
I think these must be for floor heat. We don't inspect those, but I'm suspecting you might want to
So
check
like
with them.
radiant floor heating?
You might want to, yeah. They weren't doing that much in the 80s, but these people seem like they, wanted to go high end, so they may have added that. In this bathroom, lights. The control knob leaks really badly on this shower.
Okay.
You probably just want to change out all the controls on both showers.
Okay.
There's some missing grout in here. This toilet had some wet stains around it, but I tested them with my moisture meter and they were dry, so I can't. There's a pretty good chance it probably is leaking, but it wasn't today. I flushed it like 4 times before I checked it. So, and then this sink right here is cracked. So I would probably go ahead and replace the sink,
Okay.
countertop, whatever you got to do, since that's all one unit.
Okay.
Because I've seen those start to leak over time. That was pretty much it in here.
Okay.
Now there's several windows throughout the house that are not working,
Okay.
it's pretty common for these casement windows. There was probably a total of 5 that I couldn't get open just in each room. I think there were like 2 in the living room, 1 in here.
Okay.
And then there's crate handles missing, that kind of thing, and then there's screens missing. So all that'll be in the report. The inside didn't look too bad. I mean, you've got some stained carpet, which sounds like you're gonna rip that stuff out anyway, right? Are you gonna redo the floors? Is that what they're gonna do, Elizabeth?
I don't know exactly what degree of renovation they're going to do, but they know that the house needs love.
Also, I forgot to show you, this return air filter is very,
Disgusting.
very dirty. I don't think it's been changed in a long time. See how dirty that is?
Oh my God.
Both of them are, and I'll show you where the other unit is too real quick.
Okay.
And I want to say something about the spacing being too close or too far apart on the pickets there
Okay.
for children. Yeah, here's the other filter. And it's just about the same way, Elizabeth. It's dirty
Okay.
too. And then the air handler's in, air handler's in this closet.
Okay.
See, that's a bigger one there. And that's for this side of the house.
Okay.
I don't know if you care what you say. Are they going to rip the cabinets out? You can see the door
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I honestly don't know how much they're going to do.
Well, oven worked, disposal works, the dishwasher works. The hood needs a grease filter.